Welcome to the Mafia Sports Report on the Buffalo FAMbase Network. I'm your host, Tommy, to the highest degree, to the TOP from the 313. And by my side is my main man, my Toucan Sam, the one they call the Apex Man, Mr. Mikey. What's going on, brother?
Not much. Happy Monday, brother.
Happy Monday, and you are on vacay.
I am. And day 3 of 9 days.
Man, you are a lucky dude, man. 9 days. Goodness.
Enjoying it. Yes, a little bit of woo to start this thing. Been a while since feels like it's been a while since I heard some Ric Flair. Woo.
I know. I'm only playing it on Mondays now. It used to be my intro every single time, but it's only for Mondays. So training camp was today, day 9, Mikey. No Bills Mafia were allowed today. It was a closed practice.
Well,
but a lot happened on this.
Semi-close.
There were some reporters and stuff like that, but
friends and family.
Friends and family, right? But my point, it wasn't a open to the public kind of deal.
Yeah.
But today has most kind of action, you could say. Couple scrimmages, like a little fighting, but nothing major. There was a Dawkins injury, by the way.
There was.
You want to get into that?
Yeah. So let's hit Scott Blakely first. It says, did J.A. tweak his UCL again in the shoulder? No. Josh went back to ran back to the thing for something, came back out, didn't miss any practice time. Nobody has any idea what happened to Josh and why he left the field, but he came back.
He's been banged up a few times, though, I got to say, this training camp, but he's always come back and continued to play on. So I wouldn't really worry. It's better safe than sorry. He's just going back. Maybe he felt something real quick that bothered him, wanted to get it checked out, all good, went back.
I think Mike Catalana at Buffalo Plus said something about his UCL, but nobody else in the Bills media department said anything, about it. And I think he was just, speculating because nobody knows why he left. They didn't talk about it. He didn't come back out with a wrap. He didn't come back out with a wrap on his arm, nothing. He came back out and just started practicing. So,
maybe
I wouldn't.
Who knows? Yeah, I wouldn't look too. I know they said he talked to Bean before he got back on the field, like when he came back or whatever. So who knows? Maybe Bean was just checking to see everything was all right. But like you said, if you continue practicing, nothing on his shoulder, no sleeve, nothing like that. I mean, it's probably, who knows? It could have been nothing really. Cramps for all we know. So is Dotson going to be our middle linebacker, says Dwight? I'll tell you what, he is definitely I would say right now he's in the lead, but not by a lot. And I think it's going to boil down to him and Bernard. I mean, the way things are shaping out, we'll see in practice. What do you think, Mikey? I don't know. I think it's
a bigger gap than they're letting on. I don't. Okay. Listen, from everything I've heard from all the different reporters, Bernard is more athletic, but Dodson just knows more about the scheme and where to be. And we both know that's what McDermott's going to look for. Although they said it is still down to them too, and there hasn't been a preseason game played yet, and the preseason games are going to hold a lot of weight. I would say that Dodson is the front runner, is the leader in the clubhouse, and it's up to Bernard to catch him. He got to start making some serious plays, and because I think if they're at the same level, I think they go with Dodson because he has the experience and can call the plays and do all that stuff.
Yep. So let's get on the Dawkins thing. So
Dawkins hurt his hand, left practice, went back, got it checked out, came back out without his pads, had his hand taped up. They're calling him day to day, so there is no practice tomorrow.
Right.
They're not back out there until Wednesday.
Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah. Wednesday and Thursday.
Then that's it. Training camp's done.
Yeah, and then they're off on Friday. They're off on Friday, and then they have the game on Saturday.
Yeah, this is the last week of training camp.
Yeah.
At St. John Fisher.
Last 2 days.
Yeah, that's it. Camp. So, I gotta say, listen. By the way, shout out to my buddy Sean, Red, White, and Bills podcast. Go check him out too. It's not honestly. Listen, if you're concerned now, last year was crazy injuries and major ones like Jordan Poyer. A lot going on last year. So I don't think really there hasn't been really, I'll be honest with you. We've been kind of injury free. And I think somebody brung it up today. Knock on wood. I think Knox brung it up today saying we've been pretty good, like injury wise, like and yeah. Listen, I don't know what the deal is with his hand. Who knows? Could have banged on a helmet. Could have got twisted up on the way. Maybe fell. I have no idea, but I think he'll be all right. Day to day, it doesn't sound anything crazy. Josh Allen going in and out, with injuries here. I once again, if he's coming out to play, I wouldn't worry about it. I mean, the main guys right now that we need to worry about, obviously, are the guys that like Josh Allen, right? Poyer, Hyde, like all these guys are staying healthy. All the main guys, Diggs, like we've been relatively good, I would say, honestly, in this camp, right? I would think.
I mean,
Go look
outside,
around the league. Go look around the NFL right now. There's a ton of injuries. We're not the only one. It's just you pay attention to the Bills, but you don't pay attention to the whole NFL. The whole NFL, trust me when I tell you, they have players that are out for the season, or a lot of games already.
So I want to hit this. Red, white, and
Go ahead.
Bills says so many days off, soft as hell. It's the CBA, brother. It's not the Bills.
Totally different rules, man. Yep.
It's the CBA. They have certain amount of days that they can only be in
Time too.
They have certain days time that they can be in meetings. All that is all CBA driven. Now, how they break out the schedule is up to the Bills. How they choose the days that they have. They only have an X amount of days though to do stuff. So yeah.
By the way, great point.
It's a different time. Back in the
No,
day, it was 2-a-days for 4 weeks straight.
But there was a lot more injuries, though. See, Red, white, and Bills like that. Like you're talking just a second ago about the injuries. If you have these longer practices, and that's why the CBA, they decided to go away from that, because when you get these crazy long practices out there, injuries are bound to happen, right? Like even more, like the percentage goes even more, right? So that's the whole point. They want these players going into the NFL season healthy, not banged up on these long training camp days, right? So I get it in a sense. I get where you're coming from, but I also want these guys going into the season healthy. That's why you look at preseason, right? They don't even start. Starters usually don't even play now, even a quarter. We got a series or two, like because they're so worried about players getting hurt. They want these guys for the regular season. Dotson, Bigley, Bernard would need to smoke the preseason games to close the gap. See, I gotta say that's a great point, by the way. So just because Dotson's doing good now, that doesn't mean when game time starts in a meaningful game that Dotson will look as sharp as he's doing in camp. I mean, sometimes things can change in preseason. Players tend to take it up a notch against opposing teams, right? Not just when they're playing against themselves. So we'll see. It's very possible, right, Mikey? I mean, you know how that goes.
Again, like we said, it's going to come down to, and I want to hit this one.
Which
from
one?
Joey that talks about
Spencer Brown.
No, about Jordan Poyer's.
Yeah.
It's precaution. He has something on his arm. He wore that last year, and he said he liked the feel of it. So he put it back on this year. That's what he wore when he hurt his arm last year. That allowed him to play. It was just something that he liked the feel of, so he wears it now as a precaution.
Scott coming in saying Spencer Brown dominated.
Spencer Brown had a very good day today. There was a little skirmish between Spencer Brown and Tyrell Dotson. Okay. It's one of those things that happens. Right after that, there was a pass over the middle, to Kincaid, and then Josh ran up to Dotson and started talking his stuff. Dotson didn't like that either, and then there was another one that broke out with between Elam and Sherfield in a one-on-one. So 2 small skirmishes today.
What do you think about Whitetown?
Y'all think they kind of urged for Jordan Phillips to come off the pup because they're scared of having the roster spot on? No, I think it was just time for him to come off. I do worry for him though, because of how well our D line has played. Granted, they've played against their own team. You have to remember when you're playing against your own team. So someone like Dotson, this is something just to take leave in the back of your mind. Somebody like Dotson has been on the Bills for 4 years. He knows the offense. So he may look better in a practice than he would in a preseason game where he doesn't know the offense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So he knows what our concepts are. He knows what we like to do. He's been around for a long time to understand all that. Same with some of the D linemen. So really, I think Jordan Phillips getting back is great.
Yeah.
Because healthy Jordan Phillips is a playmaker. He
Mm-hmm.
wreaks havoc. It's just keeping him healthy. Having 5D tackles will be interesting if we truly do keep 5D tackles and 5 D ends.
Mm-hmm.
But if we have 5D tackles, that will help keep him healthier moving forward. Because listen, if we had Puna Ford last year, you know, because at the end of last year we had no Daquan, we had a one-armed um, Jordan Phillips, we had Oliver and Settle. Settle wasn't ready for the spot. All of it. So basically, we had like 1.5 guys. Having that extra Puna Ford steps in, you know, helps gives us the depth that we need for injuries. So
Yeah. No, so I guess I'll go with the Jordan thing. So, looking at Jordan Phillips so far with what little video I have of him, he looks good. I got to be honest with you. He looks good. He actually lost some weight. He said so himself, but you could tell he lost some weight.
mhm,
That's a good sign.
yep.
That will also kind of help him from, avoiding some of these injuries as well. And, we'll see. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. I think he makes the team. I do. But they're going to have to get him out in preseason, knock some more rust off. I think right now it's a rust factor, and that's why I think they needed him out there this week, because you can't skip all of training camp and just be out there week one. You all saw what happens with like players like Spencer Brown. I said this before, man. Training camp is so important for like the younger guys and
hmm
guys coming off injuries. Very important, man. One, the guys coming off injuries to knock that rust off, kind of like just get in the groove of things again, and then the rookies to kind of learn, the playbook, learn in general, get the one-on-ones with the coaching staff, and that I think that's why he needed to get out there this week, and it was his time. That's it. He was healthy. He was good to go, and it's good to see him out there. And that's why we're saying too about the Vaughn thing. That's why, like, he's not going to have any training camp. He's not going to have any preseason. And that's why I kind of hope they put him in like week 6 after that Jags game, and not even like a lot of snap count. I kind of want to see him just kind of like a low
Work his
snap
way
count,
up.
work his way in. Yeah, kind of knock that rust off. Because you got Leonard Floyd in there. There's no reason to kind of like have
Well,
a heavy
not
workload
not
right away.
only yeah, not only Leonard Floyd, but you have Groot.
Yes, correct.
Sean McDermott came out and talked about AJ Epinesa today and said how he's dialed in and he's a big part of what they're doing. AJ's not going anywhere. He's kind of pegged in as D&3 until Vaughn gets back, and then he's gonna be D&4. So then you
Right.
have the battle between Shaq and Boogie Basham. I know Scott came in and talked about Boogie Basham, saying he's showing promise. Um, but I have a feeling Boogie's gonna be the odd man out and probably gonna be the
Yeah,
one that gets dealt.
I do too. I just have a, and I don't listen, man. I'm not saying the guy's a bad player. I don't know if he's taken any kind of big steps forward to stay on the team with this, and with how deep we are, and you got to get something for him now rather than nothing later, in my opinion. Um, by the way, too, for everybody, it was like, oh, the offense played great today, and I told you guys it was going to be a
Back and
back
forth.
and forth battle, and one day the defense might look really good, one day the offense, is sometimes it's just going to be or in the middle. Both teams kind
hmm
of, both offense and defense, evened out for the day. But today the offense did its thing.
You might see a Boogie, player trade too. You know,
Yeah,
let's
exactly.
let's be perfectly honest. There are spots on our roster that we could use better depth, i.e. QB2.
I would not mind.
You
Yeah.
know,
By the way, the backup quarterbacks are terrible. That's so.
you
And
know,
somebody said something real
let's
quick.
tackle.
Yeah,
We can use help at tackle.
somebody said today. I don't remember who it was. It was in on Twitter. It was one of the Bills beat reporters, but they said, camp is going good when fans are concerned about, like, all they're talking about is the backup quarterback. Right? You know what I'm saying? It's like
Right?
that's a great point, right? It's a
Yep.
really good point, and it's true, right? Because like that's my one of my main concerns right now. It's like, if Josh goes down, like that's a huge concern because I don't believe in any of these guys right now. And I hate saying that, but I will say this: it's preseason once again coming up this Saturday. Maybe this is when Kyle Allen will get his reps and start looking a little bit better than what he has in practice. I hope that's what I'm hoping for because I need to see something because so far I don't. It's a little cringy. I gotta be. I gotta be honest with you guys.
Yeah. Sean McDermott came out and talked about it today because he was asked about the QB2 spot. And he said, you have to remember, Kyle Allen's learning a whole new system. They're very, like, and this isn't a normal system. It's a very complex system that the Bills run. He said, so, it's a matter of getting those reps. There's going to be days he looks really good and there's days he doesn't look good, and that's anybody who's learning a new system. He said the preseason games and those reps, because he'll get a lot of them, is going
Yeah.
to be big for him.
Yeah, no doubt. Oh, by the way, I'm about to make Mikey very upset, folks out there. Mikey, I got some bad news for you. Like honestly, and it's probably going to ruin your vacation.
What?
I shouldn't even tell you because honestly, you have like what 8 more days left of this vacation?
Yep, something like
9? Okay. I'm going to tell you anyways because you're going to wind up hearing it. Bobby Hart signed with the Lions. I'm sorry.
that.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's all right. I'll live.
Okay, so your vacation's still okay?
Yeah, I'll be okay.
Okay.
I'll cry myself to sleep tonight, and then I'll be okay.
Okay, good. That's like an inside joke, guys. If you guys been following us long enough, you know.
Yeah, if you followed us during our hashtag days, Paul actually created a video of me loving Bobby Hart.
Yeah. The little picture next to his bed.
Yep, love me
Oh,
some Bobby
God.
Hart. Listen, good for him. The Lions also signed Teddy Bridgewater today.
They did, yeah. I'll tell you real quick, and I don't think they're going to do it, and nor they shouldn't, because I don't know if these guys are any better, anyways. But what about Wentz? What do you think about Wentz? I hate Wentz, by the way, but
I
he would
don't
be better than Allen, I think.
from
Right?
a on field perspective, yes, but in the locker room, no.
Right. Yeah,
Wentz is a
exactly. I agree.
different type of dude, and he doesn't do well in the locker room. I don't think his personality fits with the Bills culture. So I don't
Right.
think Wentz would be a guy from a talent perspective. Yeah, Wentz is obviously a better, you know,
Right.
he's a
Yep.
former number 2 overall pick. You know, has had good seasons, lots of starts. Ideally, that's the kind of guy you want as your backup.
Yeah.
Is a guy who's had a lot of starts and production in this league.
Right.
But from a personality standpoint, I just don't see it.
And that's probably why every team is probably staying away at this
Mhm.
point for Carson Wentz. Real quick before we move on, I want to thank everybody that's in this chat right now. It's on this live. So Red, White, and Bills, which is Sean, the Matt Chatter, Jason N, Scott Blakely. Appreciate all your guys' support. And yes, Red, White, and Bills, which is Sean, mentioned in the chat. We are closing in on 5,000 subscribers. This is our biggest off season for this channel.
Yep.
Our goal was 3,000 before the season started, the new season of the Buffalo Bills, and we're at like 50 away pretty much for 5,000. So once again, I appreciate everybody that's subscribed and shown us the support and love. And yeah, we'll keep grinding, man. All right, go ahead.
Joey comes in and says, Mikey, did you see the video on Good Morning Football? They picked the Super Bowl teams. No, I did not. I haven't watched Good Morning Football in a little while.
Neither have I. Yeah.
I don't really watch a ton of the national media. It's hard for me to take them serious when they sit around and they talk about the Jets. The Jets are great. I like what they've done on paper. And they're like, I don't see how the Bills got better. And I'm like, are you paying attention?
Yeah.
Our main areas, we reinforced our interior offensive line. We reinforced our defensive line.
Yeah.
We reinforced our pass rushing. Like we drafted a tight end who's more of a weapon than anything and has lived
Mm-hmm.
up. We signed new receivers. Like how we signed new running back. How did we not get better?
Dude, I don't. I did a video today saying the same thing, Mikey. It's funny that we're talking the same. Chris, by the way, real quick, Chris, he signed with Pittsburgh 2
Yeah,
more
he
years, so
he just redid his deal this offseason,
so he ain't
to be the backup in Pittsburgh. He likes it
for
there.
2
Yeah,
years, so he's not going
yeah.
anywhere. Great guy. I wish he was still here, but we got a steal when we got him. Thank God we didn't really need to use him, but it was great to have a guy like that. And I agree,
Mhm.
I would love a guy like that waiting in the wing just in case. But yeah, Mikey, to your point, I said the same thing today. I'm like, it's crazy to me, and I shouldn't even listen to the national media, but it is a story, it's something to talk about, and that's why we bring it up. But that like they never bring up like what the Bills actually did. They just want to talk about what other teams did and how now the Bills are all of a sudden a 9-win team or an 8-win team or third
Yeah.
place in the East. And they it's like,
It's
yeah, I
Bills.
think I think it's a little bit like bias almost. Like they just want to go after the big name signings, but
Yep.
yet they don't talk about like the big name signings like the Dolphins did. Their guy is not even, he may miss the whole season, who knows, right? Which is Ramsey for the Dolphins. And the Jets, let's be real, they got an older Aaron Rodgers. And by the way, real quick, I gotta say to this, I didn't even realize, and I don't know why, and we never even bring this up. And I was like thinking today, I'm like, didn't freaking Brett Favre get traded to the Jets
Yeah.
too? And my God, Mikey, 39 years old was Brett Favre, or no,
Ideally,
38, and then Aaron Rodgers 30, 39. It's like, I mean, man, like
do
it
you
was so weird how that worked out, man. And
do you
by the
remember
way,
the hype
Favre did not
behind
work out.
Favre? Yeah, do you remember the hype behind
Right.
Favre though?
That's
It was the
my
same
point.
thing.
That's my point, and that's where I'm going. Right? Rodgers left Brett Favre left the Packers because they had a young quarterback waiting in the wing. Aaron Rodgers, he goes to the Jets. Jets fans all excited. I'm not saying it's going to happen with Rodgers. I'm just saying not everybody's a Tom Brady out there who could play till they're like 50, right? Like I'm just throwing that out
Like
there. And
Tom
he
Brady
didn't
can
look
still
too
play
hot.
if he wants to play.
He could.
He just doesn't.
Absolutely. And listen, I'll be honest with you. I didn't think Aaron Rodgers played good last season. I thought he played okay. I didn't think it was his best. I thought when the game counted the most, where they could have made the playoffs, the Lions went into Green Bay and took care of business. So I just don't see all the super hype that all of a sudden there are, a 13-win team, they're going to win the division. So they just, like I said once before, they avoid everything the Bills did, which I thought, and I keep telling y'all, this is the best offseason, I think, in my opinion, that Brandon Beane has done. This is the best, deepest team that McBean has put together as far as depth goes. And nobody's talking about that other than me and Mikey and other Bills content creators. Go ahead, Mikey.
Well, it's the guys that follow the team closer than the national medias. They grab national headlines and they run with it. They're looking for the big clicks. They also know Bills Mafia is one of those teams that if you can rile them up, they'll come at you, and that's clicks for them. It's what Nick Wright's made his living off of recently in the last few years, is the badmouth Josh Allen and watch Bills Mafia come at him. He loves it. He eats it up. So it's just one of those things. I quit listening like this offseason when they went through like people getting better and not getting better, and they didn't. All they highlighted was we lost Tremaine Edmonds. They didn't highlight that we brought in Leonard Floyd or Puna Ford or
Right.
Connor McGovern.
Yeah, a lot. Taylor Rapp.
A
lot. Right.
Yeah. Granted, most of those guys aren't big named guys. They're just the lunchbox guys that put up solid stats, and those are the type of guys you need to win a Super Bowl.
Exactly. And Chewy coming in with the Joe Montana Chiefs. And you know what's funny about that? We winded up beating the Chiefs in the playoffs that year, the Buffalo Bills, and sending his ass home. So it is kind of funny. So I just want to throw that out there. So once again, it is what it is, man. We will prove, like I said, we will handle our business when the regular season starts. And when week 18 rolls around, we will be sitting here and then we will say, who is the team in the East still? And
listen,
we'll
they
see.
play the games for the reason. They play the games for for a reason.
Right.
It's not about who's like last offseason, they were all over the Bills. I don't like it. I like that they are sleeping on us.
Yep. Amy coming in true-hearted, filter desire our time, our Super Bowl. Let's go Buffalo. Damn real, man.
Yeah, Amy.
Sorry,
I like that we are slept on. We The Bills don't need to read the headlines that they're great. You
Yep.
know what I mean? They need to read the headlines that people are doubting them.
Yep.
Let's
What
let's
do you
let's
think about
keep it that way.
no doubt here?
What are some head coaching responsibilities Sean's not able to do as the OC? Anything? It sounds like the D's better. Um, I'll be interested. I'll be perfectly honest. That's like one of the biggest things I'm going to be watching during this first preseason game next Saturday, is how Sean McDermott handles the DC responsibilities and the head
Yeah.
coaching responsibilities. I know they have a plan in place because McDermott's talked about it. He hasn't told us what it is. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to be one of those things where I have a feeling he has guys that he's going to be relaying information
Yeah.
to manage things from a DC
Yeah.
side, because he still has to be in the flow of the game on offense, knows what's going on to make those decisions on fourth down, so on and so forth. So he's going to have one of those guys as his de facto defensive coordinator, or is going to speak for him at
Mm-hmm.
when they're on that time. Chewy comes in and says, Team Mikey, what record would you be fine with? Honestly, with ours, I think on the small side, I think 11-6 is like our floor. I think probably 13-4 is our ceiling. We have a rough schedule.
We do, and especially in the middle of the
Oh,
season.
unless you're talking to Scott Blakely, then our ceiling is 20. And I love you, Scott, and I hope we continue. I hope we really hit that. But
Right.
for me, I think it's 11-6. It's gonna fall between 13-4 and 11-6. And I think
Yeah.
11-6 will get us in the playoffs. I don't know if it will win our division, but I believe we're gonna win our division. I think we're gonna probably be something like 12-5, 13-4. Me and Tommy will do a prediction video as we get closer to the regular season.
Yeah. I don't think the Bills lose less than 12 games. I'll be honest. I mean, I think the Bills are a 12 plus win team. I don't think it's less than that. I think it's probably going to be the same what they did last year, about 13-4. Sounds about right to me. But yeah, Mikey's point is in the middle of the season. It's a little bit of rough schedule.
Mm-hmm.
But what should I miss? Am I missing?
Yeah, Red, White, and Bill says Bills go 3-14, the Finns go 2-15, the Jets go 1-16,
I know.
the
Wouldn't that be
Pats go
unbelievable?
0-17, and the Bills with. I don't know if that is physically possible with us playing each other twice a year, but that's pretty
Right.
funny.
Real quick too, speaking on McDermott. So McDermott talked today a little bit to the media about that, exactly what the point somebody mentioned above. I forgot who it was, but about the role that he has this year, DC and head coach. And yeah, he even said that he has to he's gonna have to take his time. He's gonna have to choose his time wisely, like leave the DC room, go into the into the offense. I gotta say, this is McDermott this season has a lot on his back, right? He's
And
like carrying
he
a
asked for it.
yeah, and that's my point. Listen, he had the opportunity when Frazier left to either go in house and get a DC right in house or go out and search for one. He chose this responsibility. But my point is, it's going to be this is a heavy workload for him. I hope he's ready, and I also think there's pressure because I know a lot of you guys were like, Frazier. But let's be real. Frazier's defense, always while he was here, we were still in the regular season, that is, a top 5, top 10 defense every year, right? While Frazier was here. McDermott, if he fails to do that, right? And our defense is in the middle of the pack, let's say, which I don't believe that will happen. I'm just throwing this out there. But if something bad happens, the defense, it's too aggressive and we make mistakes and it goes the wrong way, he's going to get a lot of heat, and he's going to feel that on the head coaching part too, because it's going to start messing him up with head coaching. I'm telling you right now. So hopefully everything goes smooth on the defense side of things, and then the rest I think will play itself out because he has still guys in there that are capable of leading the offense without really him having to worry about it so much. But there's a lot of pressure on him.
He also has guys on the defensive side that can help him with that. Eric Washington, who is our defensive line coach, who's also our assistant head coach, was a former defensive coordinator. He took over when McDermott left for the Bills. We have Bobby
Mm-hmm.
Babbage, who is a young up and coming coach who went from the secondaries coach to the linebackers coach. He's very much involved in stuff. So he, and then we have John Butler, who's one of the best, secondary coaches in football. So he has a lot of experience on that side of the ball that he'll be able to lean on those coaches to help him
Yeah.
as he's doing his head coach thing too. So I'm not as worried about that. I'll be interested in big games when it's come crunch time.
Right.
The defense needs to get a stop and the offense is on the field. Where's McDermott? Is his head in with the
Mm-hmm.
offense, or is his head over with the defense trying to figure
Right.
something out? That's where
Right.
I'll be interested to see how it plays out.
I'm with you on that. Chewy wants to know. I already told you on my end, but Chewy wants to know. I guess you can answer that.
Uh,
I think we're on the same page with this, by the way.
yeah, I think it's week 6.
Yeah, that's what I
I
think. I
think it's
think
after the Jacksonville game, and I think we talked about this, Tom. I think we're both on it. I think after the Jacksonville game, I think he'll be ready by week 4, but I don't think they bring him back until week 6 because they don't want him to travel to that Jacksonville game, and play and then have to sit on that plane and get stiff again. I think they bring him back week 6, and I think they ramp him up. I think he gets probably
right.
25 snaps, in week 6, and then he'll
Yep.
go to, because they did that with Trey White when they brought
Yeah,
him
and
back.
Thanksgiving. I think he played
Yeah.
Thanksgiving game, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And he had X amount of snaps, and then the next week he had more, and then like by week 3 he was back to his full self.
Yep.
He wasn't back to his play self,
Right.
but he's back to
Exactly.
full set of snaps.
Yeah. Mad chatter, no, we didn't. Mikey lives in California. I could have went technically, but I'm about 4 hours away from Buffalo, but it's just I have a dog at home, and it's tough when you have pets at home, and obviously Mike's in California,
Yeah.
so not not easy for a practice to fly down to. So I think
I've actually never been to a game.
Really? Wow, you got to go. I went
going
to Josh. I went Josh Allen's rookie year against the
I
Lions.
I will be going to a game when we open the new stadium. Me and my daughter
Okay,
will be
makes sense.
taking a trip out there, unless we win the Super Bowl. Then I will be there for the parade. Other than that, when we open the new stadium, my daughter and I are making a trip out there for the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see when I go again. I'll be honest with you guys. Like, I love the whole point for me, at least, like, and I've gone to Buffalo Bills games, by the way. Like, when they were in Miami, I would go because I used to live in South Florida. So I would go every time we played the Dolphins. And then I went to the one down here when they played the Browns. And then I went to the one in 2018 when we played the Lions in Buffalo. Saw Josh Allen. That was fun. But I honestly, I got to be honest with you, like the experience is fun, like going to a game, the tailgating, like living, like just having a great time with the fans. But honestly, guys, like unless you have unbelievable seats, I prefer to be at the home. Like I can see everything on my big ass TV. Like when you're sometimes like you're in bad seats or whatever, you can't see anything going on, and it kind of takes it away from me a little bit. But obviously the atmosphere, is what you want. But yeah, I prefer to be at home. I don't know about you, Mikey, but like it depends on the seats.
I love the being at home aspect of it because we've talked about this. I am a fanatic fan. However, I do enjoy the live games, and I need to do that to mark it off my bucket list. And I want to do it with my daughter, and she's said she'll come with me at the new stadium. Um, and I'm reading in the chatter. Red, White, and Bills do live shows as well. Make sure you guys go out and check them out. Red, White, and Bills. Sean does a wonderful job over there.
Yeah.
He comes on. We do collabs. At some point, Tommy and I will be going on with him over there. Fantastic YouTube channel. And really enjoy his stuff. Make sure you go over and
Nickel City Mafia, who I was just about to say.
Yeah, and then he dropped
but real quick before I get to that, Colleen coming in once again. Dawson Knox will have a year, and I believe that you mark my words. 9+ touchdowns. Michigan here, but huge Bills fans. By the way, Colleen, I'm in Michigan, right here in Lincoln Park, which is basically Detroit. But yeah, man, awesome. I don't know if I've ever seen you, but welcome to the channel. And then I will get on Nickel City. Thank you so much, Nickel City Mafia. This is Mike, by the way, guys. So say hello to Mike. Love the show, guys. McDermott brings top 5 defense this year and top 5 in forced turnovers. What do you think?
I am so excited about McDermott bringing his aggressive style defense back. Like the one thing, because I don't know if we'll be as good, like the top rated defense like we were with Leslie Frazier last year. But I will be damn sure know when we get to the playoffs, we're not going to be sitting in that soft ass zone. That's not a Sean McDermott staple. He does play zone, but he brings pressure. And it's
Yeah,
not
man.
just going to be a rush 4 and drop 7 and hope your 4 get there. He will disguise coverage. He'll bring different types of blitzes. I'm
Right.
super excited for the Sean McDermott defense this year.
So everything you guys know I've been doing training camp every single day. I've been doing
Mhm.
videos. And it's good. It really is good for me too cuz I get to hear all the players talk with the media and kind of, get inside their head in a way that like, where when I come on I do these videos. All of the defensive players so far that they've interviewed, they
Mhm.
all have said that because they have all been asked, how is this new defense with McDermott? Is there a difference between him with the Frazier defense? And every single one has said it's slightly the same, but it's very aggressive. He wants us on the attack mode. And
Mhm.
Leonard Floyd today actually was asked that, and Leonard Floyd said, "Look, man, going from the Ram system to over here, it's all attack right now. It's McDermott wants attack, 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 and you didn't never. I'm telling you guys right now, I've been doing this since 2020, right? Um, no defensive player since I remember when talking to the media said that about Frazier's defense. It was never like that. Attack, 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 attack. Like we're aggressive. Like so, this defense, I'm telling you right now, man, it's a different philosophy going into the season. McDermott has these guys ready to roll. I just hope it's not a little like Philly wise when he was too aggressive. I hope it's Carolina wise. Go back, watch that Carolina team. Go back and look. They were a top 5 defense every single year. McDermott was there. It was ran perfectly. And that, by the way, that's why he's our head coach, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those things. Also, guys, we talked about Red, White, and Bills. Nickel City Mafia, another YouTube channel, Bill's content creator. We're hoping to get Mike on soon with us. Make sure you go over and check him out as well. They do a wonderful job, and I know Sean and Mike do some collabs as well. So make sure you go
Hey,
over and
I
give them some love.
know. I'm not,
Tommy 8 Mile, yeah.
no, but my buddy though, who lives close to me, he actually had Mikey. Went today to Mom's Spaghetti because I don't know if you know, but Eminem opened up a
Yeah.
Mom's Spaghetti, and he went today. He was streaming it live because I want him like go inside. So he said it was good. 4 out of 5 stars. He gave the Mom's
Okay.
Spaghetti. So
That's
oh
good.
shoot, look at this. Hey, I always, by the way, I've never seen you on here, but I always tweet to this guy. I love his stuff. Like if you guys are on Twitter, this dude is so funny. He always has the best tweets. Love it. And thank you for coming on, by the way. Leonard Floyd going beast in this defense. The impact of that signing is under the radar right now. Bro, big time. I'm telling y'all, like that's what me and Mikey are saying. A lot of these signings are under the radar. I'm
Puna
telling
Ford.
you, from
Puna
Tyler Rapp
Ford.
to Puna Ford to Leonard Floyd, like fine, sleep on it. You're gonna wake the fuck up. Everyone is not not us. We're
The
already
mainstream media is going to wake up, and all of a sudden the Bills are going to be
when
better
right,
than they were last year when they
right.
were all over the jocks.
Exactly. Towards the end of the season, when we're like this, because that's what we do. We trend
Mhm.
up, not down like the other teams. They're gonna go, oh shit, this defense is nasty. We were wrong, and man, what great pickups, what depth. I'm telling y'all, as long
Mhm.
as we can stay healthy, knock on wood,
Yeah.
this team it should have a very good season, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Also, what's nice is Leonard Floyd, and someone said this up in the comments early. He's also coming in knowing what his role is. Leonard Floyd's going to be a pass rusher. Like he's not just gonna, because we rotate them so often. He's always gonna, Leonard Floyd's used to playing 70% of the snaps. He's gonna get probably about 40% of the snaps now. So he's gonna be, constantly, fresh, and they're gonna have him in on pass rush snaps a lot. Like he's good against the run. Well, we
Right.
have a Shaq Lawson who's also really good against the run. You know, like
Yeah.
so you're gonna see that like early on you'll see a lot of Leonard Floyd, but when Vaughn comes back, you're gonna see the rotation, and you're
Correct.
then that's when you're gonna see the real, getting disguised, and you're gonna see the
You're
Vaughn
gonna see
and
Rousseau at
Bruce.
DT and
Yep,
Floyd and Vaughn in the field at the same time.
with Oliver,
Um,
and it's
yeah.
gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
So Matt Chattersley is a game changer. I think so. Listen, if you can average 9 sacks consecutively in the last 3 seasons, that is something the Bills have been missing. And that's the reason why we signed Von Miller to begin with, right? Last year, because we didn't really have that consistent guy who can get to the quarterback, right?
Mhm.
And I love Jerry Hughes, but Jerry Hughes' time was done with Buffalo at that time. And that's why we got Von Miller, right? We needed that pass rusher. Getting Floyd is huge. And yes, for sure, he's a game changer because anytime you can get to a quarterback, that's a game changer, and that's why they get paid.
Yeah,
And the fact that Vaughn is out and is going to probably not be back till week 6, yeah, 100% a game changer because we need that. And one more quick comment before you get to the next. No, it was another one. I appreciate that one. It was I forget the one. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mikey.
okay.
There was
So
another comment I wanted.
let's hit on the game changer. He is. You have to scheme for Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a guy that you can just say, okay, we'll just block him up with one guy. You have to scheme for Floyd, which was what you had to do with Vaughn. And you saw what our pass rush was. We were ranked like, in the top 5 in pass rush when Vaughn was healthy. When Vaughn got hurt, our pass rush dropped off. Having a
Mm-hmm.
Floyd, and then you have a bigger, stronger, healthier Rousseau coming back. By the way, have you seen Rousseau? The dude's like bigger than he was last year. It's crazy. And
Dude. Yeah.
you're gonna have waves
Yes.
and waves this year that we were hoping to get out of AJ and Boogie last year, and they didn't step up. You have it now with Vaughn and Floyd and Rousseau, and then if AJ does take that next step, now you have 4 pass rushers who
Mm-hmm.
bring that wave, and that's what you need when you get into the playoffs. It's what we haven't had. So yeah, I do think he's a game changer, but he's also, he's one of those guys that they have to scheme for.
Yeah. And by the way, I don't know Cheddar Bob. Do you know who Cheddar Bob? I have no idea who
No.
that is. So I'm gonna say no on that. That one real quick. By the way, I do want to show something real quick before we go on. Because everybody was talking about it today, and then we're going to talk about a little bit about practice or not practice, but the whole title of this episode was the the battles and training camp battles. So I do want to show something real quick to you guys, and let's see here.
1st and 10 Bills from their own 9. Play action.
That's not it, but that was a cool play.
I'm like, what does this have to do with training camp battles?
1st and 10 Bills from their own 9. Play action. Gotcha. Going downfield looking for Molds. Oh, by Molds. What a grab.
What are you doing?
That wasn't it, but that was a great catch. You wanted to see it. I was showing it to you. I don't know where it is. I had it, man. Let me see if I can upload it again. But go
What
ahead,
are you
Mikey.
looking for?
No, I uploaded it. Hold on.
I'm just trying to figure out what you're looking for. What are we moving on?
Well, you don't have access to it. So
No, but what are we moving on?
oh,
to?
the catch today by Sherfield.
Oh, Sherfield. Oh God, I can describe that. Sherfield had one of
I got
the
it here.
top 2 catches today. Go ahead and show it.
Probably get copyright for the audio. I should have changed the audio, but
Yep. So at the end of the day, that throw was about 35 yards from the opposite hash over guys into a bucket, and he made the catch. And if you notice, he kicked it there because that was after the skirmish he had one-on-one with Kyer Elam.
yeah.
So he was fired up. So Josh had that one. Then Dalton Kincaid had a one-handed catch with Dotson right after his skirmish, where he was like pinning Kincaid's other arm against him, was holding him, and he still made the catch.
Golf clap. Golf clap.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Sherfield is making some serious run for wide receiver 3. He did.
So
He did have the Diggs kick.
Listen, I know we're not in the regular season yet, Mikey. I get this part, right? You got
Mm-hmm.
to show it on the preseason, regular season. But you got to admit, Tommy Boy over here, who was talking about Sherfield when we signed him. The one guy I told you, watch out for this guy. The reason why I said it big time at that time is because of that kind of connection to him, Josh, were having already in mini camp. And I just love what I saw from him last year. And I thought if he could clean up a little bit, the drops, he had a couple drops last year. If he cleaned that up, part of his game up, this dude could be a really, really good signing. And right now in camp, I got to say too, by the way, Shakir's, they're battling. Like Shakir is really having a good camp too. So this is great to see. This is at this point, I don't care which one is 3 because they're both having great camps. They're both going to see time on the field. I don't think Shakir's going to go anywhere. I don't think Sherfield's going anywhere.
Hardy's not going anywhere.
Hardy's not going anywhere. It's just good to see because I would hate for this to be talking about, damn, Sherfield's dropping passes in camp and Hardy's kind of not looking too good either. Shakir's, he's doing his job, but nothing crazy. Like, I got to say, the one question mark I had was the wide receiver room, like early on before training camp started. And I have totally done a 360. Now, mind you, I need to see it on the field. I need to see it
in the games
when the lights are on against, different color jerseys. But as of right now, I am very satisfied and not as concerned going into the regular season. Now, we'll see what happens in preseason. But, man, my biggest question mark now, that is faded away from the receiver room. Now it's drifting more to the running back room and offensive line, but even that is kind of fading away because those both group sets are kind of playing pretty good. Now, I will say this real quick, and I know you want to talk, but James Cook, the only thing that's kind of concerning me with him so far is his pass blocking is pretty bad still. He's not protecting Josh the way he should be, and he didn't do that good last year. And I don't know if that's the weight thing because he is a smaller kind of back, or if that's just something he needs to get better at and learn.
It's a technique thing.
Exactly.
He had 18 pass blocks last year. Pass reps. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I mean?
he doesn't have a ton of experience in it, and it's a technique thing that I guarantee you Cromer's talking to him about. And he's had a couple of really bad days, but he's also had a couple of really decent days. So it is getting better. We only hear about the bad. We don't hear about when he does his job. And I think that's part of it. So I'm not as worried about it as much. I would be worried about it if they started pulling him off the field on third downs. That's what I'd be worried about. Let's see what happens in the preseason because he's going to get run in the preseason.
Yeah.
So also, and what I wanted to say was about the wide receiver room because we were both really worried about after the those first 5 because we knew kind of who the 5 were going to be: Diggs, Davis, Sherfield, Shakir, and Hardy. We knew those 5 were making the team. Then it became shorter. Terrell Shavers is another guy who's had a really good camp. Terrell Shavers is also a guy who, like Shorter, was a really highly rated guy, started at Alabama and then transferred out.
Right.
He's had a really good one. Andy Isabella has looked really good in camp, and he's learning the offense. So there is some depth in that room now that we didn't have when we were worried at the beginning. We weren't quite sure. We had a bunch of unknowns.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for preseason. And I'll be honest, this is one of the first time I've been excited for preseason in a long time. Because I want to see these younger guys and what they can bring if we need them.
Yeah. Shavers, by the way, the guy that I thought was 6'6". Not my fault. Not my fault. It was
written that way.
It was written on there. So he's still tall, though 6'4" and short, but he's definitely not 6'6". Yeah, man. Let me see.
Yes, I did see that.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Deuce Vaughn just got trucked. You don't put a 5-foot guy on, a D end. That was a bad scheme. That was a bad scheme. He's got run over. You know what it was like? Do you remember the playoff game last year when they had Zeke play center and he just got?
Oh my God! What was that?
It was like that.
So bad. I was like, "What are they doing?" It was the worst. One of the worst plays ever.
Yeah. No, it was kind of like that. It was just like that's just a bad scheme. What are you doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I heard. I may give it a watch. That was a guy, man. Johnny Football. Great. By the way, love the name. Great name. He was very good college quarterback. He was. But bro, that's what. Listen, not every player can make it in the NFL or do good in the NFL. It happens. That's why I say the draft sometimes. Like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, Bean missed this one, but it's like a lot of GMs miss because these guys look good in college. Some of these guys look excellent, right? Heisman winners, they just don't work out. It happens, right? Sometimes they're just not cut out for it. So yeah, he was one of them. He went downhill quick.
Yeah, Matt Chatter comes in and says, I saw a YouTube doc that broke yesterday saying that Rosen was a top bust. Do I agree? I don't think Rosen was top bust because you always still have who was the one that got drafted from LSU to the Raiders?
Oh my God, that was Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah, he was the number one overall pick, and that was before the rookie wage scale. That was back when he got like $70 million guaranteed.
He got a lot of money. I would say Ryan Leaf is up there as well.
Ryan,
if you're going to start counting,
yep,
he's going to start counting.
Yeah. I would say those two guys are probably bigger, and I would say at least Ryan Leaf had a career and played.
You're right though. Jamarcus
Rosen and Jamarcus, neither one of them played much at all.
No, you're right. Jamarcus just got blimped up, and like it was weird. Jamarcus had, I think it was a little difference with Jamarcus compared to Rosen. I'll be honest. I think Russell, I think he had the opportunity to be a good quarterback. He had the size. He had he could get out. He was he was a big quarterback. He had a big arm, and I just think he didn't put anything in it. He was lazy. He got fat. Didn't really care. Got his money, right? That's all he wanted. That's why he was so. And he just didn't care. I don't think. And then with Rosen, I just think I don't know what it was. He was a little cocky when he said the whole he's going to prove everyone he should have been the number one quarterback. All that crap. Yeah, and then I don't know if it was also the best situation in Arizona. I got to be honest with you too. I don't think that was the greatest place at the time for him. But either way, he had opportunities after. And he didn't do good anywhere else. So I just think he went
to some of the best offensive minds too, and he couldn't do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
He was with Shanahan.
He got cut. Yeah. Couldn't even make it as a backup. Yeah. So you're bad if you can't make it up as a backup.
Kings is correct. He says bad upper management and bad scouting departments destroy more athletes' careers than being unprepared. He's 100% right. A lot of it has to do with situation. You take Patrick Mahomes, who is considered in today's game the alpha male of quarterbacks.
Right.
You put him on the Jets, he's not Patrick Mahomes you see today. You take Josh Allen off the Bills and you put him on the Browns.
The Browns. Right.
And that mess that he's not the Josh Allen you see today. Now, do I think they still could have been good? Yes. I think because they had those guys have the drive to get better. And they worked
That's true.
I
mean, there is stories like that.
About situations.
No doubt. Like there's stories about guys like Kurt Warner, right? Everybody kind of gave up on him. He wasn't really now mind you, he wasn't that good either when he admitted that coming out. Like he had a lot of difficulties. He wasn't really catching on. And then he went and did his thing. And then Rams gave him an opportunity as a backup, and he winded up going in as a fluke because the guy got hurt. And then the rest is history. But you gotta work for it. And he worked for it. Like he grinded to get better. Not a lot of quarterbacks like Johnny Manziel, right, that just fade out in the league are willing to put that work in. And I think Rosen's one of those. When you're a little bit cocky like that, I think Rosen was a little cocky in his sense where like I'm the man, I should be pro ready.
Same way.
Baker too. I will say the one quarterback that's not like that, nice guy, but didn't work out is what's the other quarterback in that draft?
Darnold?
Yes. Sam Darnold.
But it's the reason why Darnold's still in this league and still has shots.
Exactly.
It's because he works his ass off.
Right. Works his ass off. He'll bounce around, but he'll be here for a while. But I just don't think
he'll be a backup quarterback for his life.
Exactly. He just doesn't have. I don't think he's a starter. He's not a full-time starter.
He's not a franchise guy.
Exactly. He's not a full-time franchise guy. Yeah.
He could be a bridge quarterback. He could be an elite backup quarterback. It's just one of those things. It's all about fit, and I think Darnold could have been really good if he would have went to the right situation. and they put the pieces around him. You know, it's
Yeah.
it's all about finding the right fit for you.
That is true. Building around the guy, right?
Mhm.
Having the right, coaching intact. Also veterans in the room can help. Sometimes these guys come in, they're top 10 pick. They're a little bit of, I'm the man, and they don't got anybody really to, put them down to earth here. And maybe they get
Look
a little,
at
high on
Zach
themselves.
Wilson. Zach Wilson's the perfect example.
Oh, dude, great. I'm glad you brought him up. There's another guy, Zach Wilson, who I said it this rookie year at the end of it, same thing. I'm like, yo, this guy, he's not a team guy, not a team player. He talks, you could tell he doesn't put the work in. He's out partying. Like, he's just, for a young guy, you need to put that work in. And for everyone talking about Josh this offseason, even if he did, let's say he did no work at all, he earned it.
We both know that's not the case, though.
I know that. I'm just saying, though, hypothetically, there's players that earn that. I don't think Zach Wilson, like Josh Allen, when his rookie year, after that, he knew he had work to put in. He went and did it. 2019, he knew he still had to put work in. He did it. He went extreme with it. And Zach Wilson, I never saw that from him. And then going into that season, I said that all these Jets guys that I ever talked to, I'm telling you, man, I don't think he's the guy. I just don't believe it. I didn't see anything his rookie year that stood out and go, yo, that guy's impressive. I just didn't see it. And look, they went out and got Aaron Rodgers, and he's going to be a floater in the NFL, and he might be out of the NFL before you know.
You know what? I will say, I've seen a difference, and because I've watched a little bit of, I watched that game. You see a different Zach Wilson with Aaron Rodgers there.
Okay, so maybe he's
very, yeah. He's very team oriented now. Like, you could see it on the sidelines.
Okay,
and all kinds of things. I truly believe it's one of those things that maybe Zach, having Aaron Rodgers will help Zach.
It's very possible, and you might be right, but he still needs to put the work in.
Yeah,
but I agree. I totally agree. I mean, who better to have around you than a Hall of Fame quarterback? No matter if I like him or not, he's still a Hall of Fame quarterback. You can still learn a lot from that dude. And if he doesn't, then that's all on him. I gotta say, like, if he gets another shot, and he's
they did what they could. They went out and got him a Hall of Fame quarterback to watch from and learn from.
Exactly. And they didn't even cut him. They didn't trade him. They stuck with him. Yeah.
And they're sticking with him and hoping that he learns from him so he could be their quarterback moving forward when Aaron decides to retire.
NFL's like American Idol. Yeah. That's bloody awful. Get out of here, right? Simon.
The only
it's a no for me, dog.
It's
a no for me, dog.
Was when they showed the really bad ones.
Oh, those are the best. That's what I'm saying. Like, what was his name that did that? It's a no for me, dog. It's a no for me, dog.
Randy Jackson.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you imagine a GM doing that? The guy, I need to talk to you, man. It's a no for me, dog. Get your stuff. Get out of here.
Right. That's what you say to a lot of those quarterbacks that we just listed. But it's a great point that Whitetown Kings makes about the situation that they go into. You have to remember, Josh Allen's first year, he wasn't in a great situation. The only quarterback he had in his room was Nate Peterman. And Brandon Beane came out and said about how they didn't invest in the offensive line. They didn't invest in a veteran quarterback. Like, they failed Josh, and they admitted it to start. Josh was just so talented that he was able to get better on his own. And, but then he went in the offseason to Palmer, and he had Darnold and all these other guys there that he was super close with, and he learned that way. And then they got him a veteran.
You're bringing back bad memories. He was so goddamn bad. He was so bad.
But I'm saying, like, the Bills could have ruined Josh
100%
if he didn't have the worth ethic,
mentally strong too. Yes. Yeah, mentally strong and willing to accept that the season was bad and he needed shit to work on.
But
and he did.
It was also nice to hear your head coach and your GM say we failed him after the end of that first season. Most of them don't say that.
Nope. I agree. I agree with that.
Josh's lack of growth year one was due to they took the onus of that. It wasn't on Josh. We failed him. We didn't get him what he needed. So they needed.
Yeah, they needed at that time like a Barkley, right? Like Barkley would, like when Barkley came around. I said I did a video
him in later that year.
Yeah, I actually did a video on that when we got rid of Barkley the first time. Remember we got rid of Barkley the first time? And I said, "Yo, like I loved, he don't need Barkley around anymore." Because at that time, I think Barkley was more of a
buddy.
they had him there just to be his first couple seasons, whatever. Like when Barkley was around, I think just to kind of like be his sidekick, kind of like, "Hey man, everything's gonna be cool. Don't worry about that. Play." He was like, instead of having Dable down there on his ear, remember when Dable went upstairs? It was perfect. Like that was a perfect guy to have for Josh to settle him down. But I felt like Josh got to a point where he didn't really need that mentor kind of guy, not mentor, but that guy that's
The
kind of calmed
sounding
down.
board.
Exactly. And that's why I was good with Barkley leaving at that time. And yeah, but I do agree with you. I think every young quarterback should have a good veteran quarterback in on the team. I think everyone, and there's been a lot of teams that don't do that, do it the wrong way, get these young guys in there, and just mess it up. Like the Dolphins, for instance, when they had Tua drafted, they had Fitzpatrick, they had
Yep.
Fitzmagic, right? They messed up. And let's be real. And even Curtis from Ace Per Head says it. They should have kept Tua out the whole season. They should have Tua learn under Fitz, watch Fitz, and maybe things would have been different. Who knows? Now, I'm not saying Tua's bad or the injury thing, but I'm just saying, like, I felt like they kind of threw him in the fire when he even needed to be in the fire. Like, the guy was holding his job. So, I don't know. But my point is, yeah, every team should have a veteran quarterback in there. And I think every team should have a veteran at every position, especially when they're bringing a rookie. Like Von Miller's perfect for any young defensive end, defensive tackle coming in, linebacker even. It's perfect, man.
Daquan Jones the same way. Von Miller asked Daquan Jones to come and speak at his summit.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because of how well he sets things up and can teach. Like
right,
those are the type of guys you want for those young guys. So,
right. And don't make no mistake. Look at the proof's kind of in the pudding. Look at Gregory Rousseau. Now we all knew he had the upside, but look at his rookie year compared to his second year. Right, doubled in sacks. He beefed up. He's gone to his summit. Right, his pass rush summit. You could see the growth, and everyone's talking about it. Everybody, Leonard Floyd talks about Gregory Rousseau. Von Miller talks about Gregory Rousseau. They all see the potential, and he's learning. He's another guy that's soaking it on in like a sponge, man. And I think, like I said, man, I think Rousseau is going to have a great season. Yeah, man. I'm telling y'all.
Matt Chatter comes in and says, "I'm surprised the Bills didn't talk Fitz to hold the clipboard." Fitz has got a great gig on Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, he ain't. He could pay big money too.
He's also gets to stay at home with his kids now, and like he did his football thing. He also got hurt in his last year, if you ever remember that. And maybe he just doesn't feel it's worth the effort anymore. And he's got a good, nice, cushy gig over on Thursday night.
Right, right.
Was, surprisingly, really good at.
Yep. No, I think he did good his first year. Not bad at all.
Yeah, because Whitetown comes in and talks about Malik Willis. Willis the same way. And I don't think it's the 49ers because the 49ers have a guy in Trey Lance that they still have to build out. And they
just drafted a quarterback now, right?
The Titans. The Titans, yeah. So they drafted Malik Willis in the third, and they grabbed what's his name in the second this year.
I forgot his name because I was talking about this. Yeah, yes. So they got a young now, but they still kept Tannehill.
Yep, Tannehill's the starter.
So that listen, I think they're doing it right. I like their coach over there, by the way. But yeah, they're doing it the right way. Because listen, I always said Tannehill is like your middle. He's the middle of the range quarterback. I don't think he's bad. I don't think he's great. I think he's just a good solid quarterback to kind of have in there. But he's never gonna get you Super Bowl, right? He's not gonna get there. Unless you have a dominant run team and a dominant defense, then maybe you can get by with a Ryan Tannehill. But I don't think they have either one of those. So they're just going to kind of get these quarterbacks situated and find out who can be the next starting quarterback. Is it Willis or Levis? I don't know.
And this year it's going to be Tannehill until one of them takes it. And I guess Willis looks a lot better than he did last year. So it's interesting to see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the Army with Lance's uncle when he went and drafted night. He took a pics with Groot and sent to me. I feel bad for Trey. Trey got, he sat his first year, his rookie year, because he wasn't ready to play. So they did it right. And then they played one game in a monsoon, And then in game 2, he broke his leg, and then Brock Purdy came in, and
Yeah, what a chain of events in San Francisco last year. I mean, that was the oddest thing, man. Like all those quarterbacks going down. That was wild, bro.
We kind of got off the topic though. The whole point of this was to get into the position battles. The chat took us down a rabbit hole.
It happened. So let's go. Let's start with the receivers then.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So the receiver room, we talked a little bit about the receiver room. We have the top 5 that we know of.
Okay.
Then we have for wide receiver 6, we have Isabella, who is a special teams guy that, and has some has some production in the NFL as a wide receiver, which is good. Then we have the young guys in Shorter, who wasn't. I thought Shorter was going to be a gunner because that's what he did in college. Shorter wasn't the starting gunner in the red, white, and blue game. That was Cam Lewis. So that I always thought Shorter was going to kind of be a shoo-in for wide receiver 6 because his special teams prowess. He wasn't even the starting gunner in the red, white, and blue game. That's Cam Lewis is taking that role, opposite of Neal. So it'll be interesting to see what Shorter does in the preseason. And then we have Shavers as well.
There's another guy too, Keyshawn Johnson.
Keyshawn Johnson's
who had a good game, day today.
I think Keyshawn is going to be more of a practice squad guy because he doesn't have the special teams capability that a couple of these other guys have.
I agree with that.
I think it comes down to, for wide receiver 6, between those 3 guys. I think it's Shavers, Isabella, and Shorter. And then those other guys will go on the practice squad.
Yeah, I'm on board with that.
It'll be interesting to see. But also, don't forget, there's going to be guys that are going to be released. We might see a difference in Bills picking up different guys too.
Yeah,
after touchdown day.
No doubt about it. I'm hoping if there's guys that are cut. It's more like offensive line. Offensive line right now is what I think is the main concern. Especially now, we don't know really what's going on with Dawkins. I think it's gonna be fine.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, this is exactly why you get depth. Things happen, guys.
Yeah.
Like these things happen. You can't predict an injury. Like whether it goes preseason or regular, like it's gonna happen. In offensive line, they take they have the most brutal position, right? Offensive line, defensive line. They're constantly hitting each other. So there's bound to be injuries. So I wouldn't mind Buffalo, being looking around and looking for guys that are veteran offensive linemen that are just floating around there, pick them up. And maybe you're going to see some cuts after that. Made the team initially and then got cut. Yeah. It happens all the time.
And I appreciate that, Beth. She's like, we're good with going off topic.
Oh, yeah.
we know.
That's what we do here.
It. And Red, White, and Bills, it's you said you cut Keyshawn Johnson because of his name. It's actually spelled different. It's Kesea.
It is.
So
yes.
I won't cut him because he even spells his name different. Different guy.
Yep.
Daniel Garcia comes in and says, I'd be looking for a right tackle. Well, okay, that's a great topic. Let's move to the battles on the offensive line. We have our starting battles. We pretty much know 4 of our 5 starters. It's going to be Dawkins, it's going to be McGovern, it's going to be Morris, and it's going to be Brown.
Correct.
The battles between Bates and Osiris Torrance right now. Bates is still considered the front runner.
Wow, surprised.
He constantly gets the first reps every practice. He's the veteran.
Very surprised.
They haven't gone into a game yet.
Okay.
I think by the time the game starts, I think Torrance is going to overtake him. I really honestly do. He gives you such a bigger upside than Bates does, and Bates's flexibility on the offensive line is such an asset to have.
Yeah,
it really is.
I agree. So to me, unless Torrance is just not, they feel like he's just not ready at all. Like he would be a disservice, right, to be a starting right guard. It would be a mistake because just like you said, you got Bates there waiting in case one of these dudes go down. He could fill any position, right? If you got Bates starting, Torrance can't do that. Now you got to go and look for somebody that could fill any position. And I don't know, maybe Doyle, they had him practicing, but I wouldn't feel comfortable with that. So yeah, listen, Bates is on this team. Bates may be the future center. There's no reason.
Is lineman 6. I think he's lineman 6. If one of them goes down, Bates can fill in any of those jobs.
And I'm good with it. Yeah, Dawkins for some reason, a game or two, okay.
Bates,
McGovern.
Yeah.
And don't forget we have David Edwards.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing that out there too.
And Ike Bacher.
And Bacher.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't forget, Bacher was solid. I mean, he wasn't special.
No, he was tough.
But
yeah.
he's a solid NFL rotational guard.
Exactly. He's a good depth. Yeah, he's a rotational depth player. Yep.
Yeah. So that's what I think from our line. And then we have our battles at tackle, which concern me. Then that's what goes back to what Daniel was saying. Brandon Shells looked really bad. Granted, it could just be that our defense is really good. So I'll be interested to see what he looks like in preseason.
Mm-hmm.
If he stays that bad, then we have concerns. Questenberry has looked really bad. Richard Garage has had up and down days.
Right.
Doyle's not back fully to what he was. It's going to take him some time. Torn ACL, it takes time to get back. Tackles, my concern outside of our top two.
Yeah, I agree. I have faith in Shell though for what he did last season. I think he could be a decent rotational backup, good depth piece, but he's having a bad camp. I'm not gonna lie, like he's not doing good. But that doesn't mean he can't turn it up. Or you see a different Shell when game time acts. When he goes against a different opponent. I told you some of these players the juice is different, right? For them, like they get juiced up when they play different when they play somebody else that's not a Buffalo Bill, like they're same player, so or opposing team. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see how it goes. Preseason's gonna tell you a lot about what these guys can do and what they can't do, what they struggle against. And if he continues to struggle in preseason, then yeah, we got a problem. But there's going to be cuts around the league once again. So I wouldn't really overstress it.
We also have guys that we might be able to deal to help bring back a solid player or a young guy. You have to remember, that's what we did when we brought in Ryan Bates. I could see us making a move like that. Trading a guy that we were going to end up cutting, and we brought in a guy who's a starter / top tier reserve. Yeah, Greg Rousseau did say, but when Greg Rousseau came in, he was also a really raw prospect.
Raw, big time.
Like he'd only played D end for really one full year.
That's it.
And I was in college because he was a safety tight end and
receiver.
Safety, safety receiver in high school, and then he transitioned to D end in college. Spent 1 year at D end, then he opted out his second year due to COVID, and then he got drafted. So he's only going to get better. He was so raw when we drafted him.
Oh, big time, man! But we knew that. Like everybody, like first of all, I think he was the 28th pick, if I'm not mistaken, near the tail end of the draft of the first round. And listen, there's another player that Beam was like, you know what? It's late in the round. This guy could be a top 10 pick if he stayed in the if he played college one more season and did the same numbers, right, or close to it. He probably would have been, guys. We would have never got him. So it was worth a pick, especially that late in the round. And you saw his ability right away when he won the job. Over who do you win it over? Boogie, right? Because they got Boogie initially. He was gonna wind up starting. They thought
because Boogie had a higher ceiling or a lower floor or higher floor coming out, and they thought Boogie was gonna be the impact guy, and then Greg was gonna be the project guy.
Exactly. And it was
Greg ended up starting year one.
Exactly. So my point is, if you see his growth, you see his potential so far, and we said this earlier. He's learning. He's soaking it all in like a sponge, man, from these vets. And bringing in Von Miller helped. But he's only getting bigger. He's only getting stronger and faster.
He went from 4 sacks to 8 sacks.
His
goal this year is double-digit sacks. You're going to Vaughn and I think who was it? I think it was Leonard Floyd who said, "I expect Greg to be a top 5 DN by the end of the year."
I do too. What do you think of Shane Ray? That's a great question.
So we made the transition to DN. So let's talk about the DN battle. Shane Ray's flashing. The question we don't know is he flashing because he's going against bad tackles, Or
Right.
is because he's doing so well, do our tackles look bad?
Right. That could be the
We
case
we,
too.
we, we
Right.
don't know. So we won't know until preseason if Shin Ray is like eating up the tackles. We know maybe it's not Shell and Questenberry that's just horribly bad. Maybe Ray's getting back to his form.
It could be. He was dominant. Listen, he was a good
Until he
player
got
coming
hurt.
out of college. Yeah, until he got hurt, and then he just had a big obstacle to overcome mentally. But
And he couldn't.
and he couldn't, but he finally did, mentally and physically. And I also like every video I kind of see that of him, at least that I've been watching him on the sideline. He's always hanging with Von. Now Von and him were friends, good friends in Denver. So this is a perfect opportunity for him on this team because he's with his old teammate who's a future Hall of Famer and a guy that can get him on track if he's trying to make this team. And it's very possible. Preseason is going to be. Listen, preseason is huge for some of these guys to make the roster, man, and they got to show out, and I think he's one of them.
I don't know. I don't know if he has a path to make the roster, but he does have a path to make the practice squad.
That could be right.
You know,
you might be right.
Because there's a lot of people in front of him still, and as it is, we're going to be looking to move off of one of the guys probably because we don't have enough space for all of our DNs. But Shane Ray could put the tape out there and get a practice squad nod and then be ready to be pulled up. We pulled a lot of guys up last year off the practice squad.
Once again, though, it depends on what. Listen, I'll say this. Let's see what he does in preseason. If he balls out in preseason, it's going to be tough for them to put him on the practice squad. Why? Because teams could scoop him up quick. Yeah. So then you got to go and say, okay, who do we got to get rid of? Right? Who's going to get traded? Who's going to get cut? AJ, Boogie, are one of these guys not stepping up? Both not? Or is AJ stepped up? Boogie, goodbye. I mean, there's going to be Shaq. What about Shaq? Is Shaq going to be the same Shaq that we had last season, or is Shaq going to be a guy that's getting a little older?
He's having a great camp.
He is. I get it, but I still, like I said, preseason, right? So let's see what these guys do when it's game time and the lights are on against another team.
Yeah. So, I mean, right now, we the guys that we know that are going to make the team, right? We know it's going to be, our top three, Vaughn, Groot, and Floyd. Couldn't think of his name for a second. And then after what Sean McDermott said today, I'm pretty confident AJ is going to be
I do too.
4. So now we're looking at one spot for like 3 guys, and that's that's Shaq, that's Boogie, and that's Shane Ray, are the 3 that I'm hearing the most about. Yep. So one spot for those 3. So I think Shaq is the leader in the clubhouse because they know what he is. He's a better run defender.
Yeah.
And I think they could get something for Boogie. I don't think they can get anything for Shaq.
No, for Shane, right? I don't think they get anything for Shaq or Shane at this point because either one hasn't proved anything, right? Yeah. They haven't shown anything, and Shaq's just an older. They would wait for him just to be cut, and scoop him up, or be on practice squad and scoop him up. It's easy from there. They don't have to give anything up, but I agree with you.
Matt Chatter, I don't know if Shaq would be sniped off the practice squad because Shaq sat out on the free agent market for a long time before he resigned with us. He didn't get a lot of offers. That's why he signed for 1.77.
Yeah, but injuries.
Yeah, I'm saying
injuries in camp.
But
I could.
The Bills practice squad is kind of where everyone, looks to snipe people off of. Every year we lose guys now.
Every year. Yep.
Every year
got a deep team. Yeah. Got a lot of good players, man. But problem is you only keep 53 right on the roster. So
I think we're pretty set at the D tackle spot with the 5. I think they're going to keep 5. I think they're going to keep 10 total D linemen. They're going to keep 5 D tackles, 5 DNs. If Vaughn goes on the pup, I think we have a chance to keep either Ray or Basham as that DN5 until Vaughn gets back. But it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do. Then when we look at the linebackers, we talked about it already. Dotson's the leader in the clubhouse. Bernard has some room to make up, but the preseason games are going to make the difference. QB2, we talked a little bit about QB2.
Right.
Someone in here earlier said, I don't think the Bills would win a game if we had one of those guys in. The Bills won't run the same offense if we have one of those guys in.
Yeah, it'd be totally different. Yeah. It'd be totally different.
I have a feeling we become more of a smash mouth football team, and that's where Osiris Torrance and Spencer Brown become. You know what I mean? I have a feeling we become a much more balanced team if one of those two were taking the snaps.
Right. Yeah, I'm not crazy about either one. I still think it will be Kyle Allen. I'll be honest with you guys. Still think Kyle Allen will be the guy.
I think he's the leader in the clubhouse. I really do. DJ Dale has flashed, Matt Chatter. I don't think he has a path to the roster. I think he's a practice squad guy. Although he's a fantastic stash guy that you can continue to build up and become something.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that Kyle Allen is also, and it'll be interesting to see if Darnold or someone like that gets released.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Now it changes everything. 100%. That changes a lot of
things.
And
I know a lot of people are like, well, Josh won't want to make the change because he's really good friends with Allen and Barkley. He's also really good friends with Darnold.
Exactly.
And Darnold's a better player than both of those guys. So if he got released, I could see it.
It wouldn't be his. Like
no, but he's in on a lot of those conversations.
I get it. I understand, but I'm just saying, like, ultimately, it comes down to the team.
McDermott and Bean decided that the two quarterbacks they had weren't good enough. They would find they'd find 100%. A better way to do it.
Yeah, I agree. But I will say this: look what happened in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Right when they thought they had, what was it, AJ McCarron, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, this guy, they thought for sure he was going to probably be the guy, right? And Josh stood by, and it wasn't. And then you had a huge mistake with Nate Peterman, and then right? So I don't want to be in the stage. God forbid if we need a quarterback to step in for a couple games, which, like I said, knock on wood, we don't need that to happen. But I don't want to be in that stage where we're a team that's like picking up quarterbacks off the, waiver wire that are just as bad as the two we already got. You know what I mean? Like, so that's where I'm at with it. So hopefully maybe you're right. There's a quarterback's released or cut, that's, like an Andy Dalton or something. I don't know. Is Dalton even available? I don't even know where Dalton's at, but I would take
I don't know where Dalton's at either. But I imagine he's still out there. But it comes down to we're also, we pay for what, you get what you pay for. And we're paying these guys pennies, to be the backup because we don't invest in our QB2. Josh is the active leader and consecutive starts at quarterback in the NFL right now. Knock on wood that he stays that way. Two more positions, running back. James Cook seems to be the leader. Yeah. And then it's gone James Cook, Harris, and then Murray. Every time Murray gets the ball, though, from what everyone says, he just moves forward, man.
Yeah, I know.
He in practice so far, he's still running, with the he's splitting.
He's 6'3". Did you see him next to Josh Allen?
He looks like a D end. He looks like a D end.
He's a big dude, bro. Yeah. He's a big back. I love those kind of backs. Those 6'2", 6'3". I like those, man. I'm telling you, man.
Short yarded guys.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. And look at his stats they're not bad for a guy that's aging up there. He's been up. Matter of fact, I showed you the touchdowns. He's, I think, second. Yeah.
It goes back to what we talked about with Derrick Henry when we said we wanted to trade for Derrick Henry. Their skill set isn't based on juking and speed. Mm. It's based on contact balance and power and reading. So if he loses a half a step, it's not a big deal to him because it was never his skill set in the first place.
Exactly.
Henry, the same thing. That's why those guys can last longer in the league, So he's also splitting time between second and third team.
Yeah. Match. I don't think Harris is pulling.
I don't think so either.
I think it's very close. I think Harris may have it a little bit above him right now, but I don't think it's way above.
Here's what I've heard. Harris is splitting time between first team and second team. Murray's is splitting time between second and third team. But however, this is preseason games. Once the preseason game starts, that's where I think you're going to see Murray start to really show.
Yeah,
because that's where he's, So I think all three of them have a role.
I do too.
I really do. And I think that's, it's not going to matter. James
I
Cook
keep
is,
them all.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're all going to make the team.
Yeah, it don't matter. I keep them on, and I would actually during the season. I mean, obviously, we'll see what happens in preseason, but I would rotate between Harris and Murray on short yardage and goal line, or even have them both in, depending on how what kind of play Dorsey runs. But having Harris and Murray in at the same time could be a really dynamic thing going on there in the goal line, because you don't know
and the
who's
jumbo
getting the
package.
ball. Yes, and the jumbo package, you have
Also,
no idea who's getting the ball there.
you can because that's when they put the extra offensive line in as the extra tight end. You can also use Murray as the fullback, lead the way.
That's what I'm saying. Right. You can almost like an eye for him. Yeah. Dude, I'm telling
or
you
do
can
the
get
split
creative with that.
backs and run. Like, there's so many things that the Bills can do.
Yes.
They now have the personnel to do all these different things.
That they didn't. That's why I keep going back, guys, to the Ken Dorsey thing and the whole talk about the offense and blah blah blah. Like, why we struggle sometimes and we struggle a little bit down the stretch is because defenses, they eventually get the film on you. They catch on. They understand what you're doing, and what do, Mikey? They attack your weaknesses. And that's what they do. And that's what they did. And that's why you kind of saw the offense dwindle down a little bit. And we had no answer. Why? I don't think it's because Ken Dorsey didn't have hey, we need to do this. We could do. It's because the personnel wasn't right, in my opinion. We didn't have the offensive line to run block. We didn't have a bigger back on a 3rd and 1 to get that extra yard, right? It was Josh Allen or nothing, right? Red zone work. We didn't have a Dalton Kincaid, right? And because we didn't even have Dawson Knox because he was blocking. There was a lot to it, guys. So I think this year you're going to see a different offense because we have personnel that can step up and do the things that Ken Dorsey wants. And we'll see. I mean, I could be wrong, and I could be just a Dorsey fan, but I have a feeling you're going to see a better offense.
I have not been a Dorsey fan. You know this. I was super, super critical of Dorsey. The more I see this offseason of the different personnel and the different things that he's doing, it could just be that he learned his lesson. But I also think a little bit of it had to do with the personnel that he had. He didn't have everything that he has today. Again, remember we're talking about the Bills getting better?
Right.
You're seeing the offense get better because he has different type of personnel that he needs to do all these different things.
Right.
So I'm interested there. And then the last position battle we wanted to talk about was the cornerback battle, CB2. We know Trey's going to be out there. We know Tron's going to be out there. CB2, it's a battle between Dane, Kyer, and Christian Benford. And Benford has been the one that seems to be coming on strong lately. He's been a ball hawk. He's picked off 3 passes in the last two days.
Yeah, I'm telling you, something about Benford, man.
He's a ball hawk.
He's a ball hawk. He's physical.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's something special about that dude. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if he'll get the job, but even if he doesn't, I like what I see, right? And I think this guy has a lot of potential. But I still hope Kyer, whatever's going on, he can catch up. And by the way, Kyer Elam had a good blue and red practice.
Kyer's had stacked a lot of good practices recently.
Exactly. He has. Now he's had some not so good ones, but overall he's had a pretty good camp. I'm not gonna lie. He just needs, I think he's still, I don't know if he's still trying to catch up to the playbook or just changing his ways on the field as far as, what kind of defender he is, working with
technique.
Exactly.
So what it is, it's technique. From the way it was explained to me from a lot of different that I've gotten from a lot of different beat reporters is Kyer's an athlete learning the technique to play the zone. If you want to put him man at press man, like he could walk into Wink Martindale's defense and start right away and be an elite cover corner because that's what he does.
Right.
But he's learning the technique to where Benford and Dane have the technique and the the IQ to understand where they need to be. That's what Kyer's still learning.
You want to answer that?
Let me ask you a question. Would you rather have paid Edmonds than Oliver? No, I would not have. I love Edmonds, but the way we use Edmonds isn't the right way. And we would have continued using him that way. And I absolutely believe that. You need to have a better pass rushing defensive tackle. Also, Edmonds got more money than Oliver.
Yeah, a lot more. I agree. I agree in a way. I will say this though. It would have been interesting to see if McDermott would have changed up Edmonds' play a little bit with his
McDermott's the
style
one that
defense.
put him there.
I get it. No, I agree. I'm just saying it would be interesting to see if maybe he did decide to get a little bit more exotic, as far as blitzing goes. But I agree with Mikey on this one. One, it was just too much money for the Bills to spend. Um, and I think Oliver is only getting better as well. I think that money that Oliver's getting, that position's going to go higher and higher and higher. So lock him up now.
Premium
He's
position.
he's having a good camp. I'm good with Oliver over Edmonds for that reason.
If you also have to go back and listen to what Brandon Beane said in the offseason. They were looking for a different style linebacker. I don't believe Charles Dotson's what they want in a linebacker either. I think they want another Matt Milano type to where he's, more of a coverage linebacker. So they're looking for a different style linebacker. Tremaine Edmonds is fantastic. And I have a feeling that he's going to be used right in Chicago and he's going to be an all-pro. And I'm happy for him. He's going to go and be maximized and good for him. I don't think the Bills are going to use him to his max potential.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, so
there's certain players that I'll look for this season. Like I even looked at Jerry Hughes last year a little bit. I
was
impressed.
Great year.
Yeah, and listen, man, because there are certain players I have love for no matter what, right? I don't care if they go wherever. But I'll be watching Edmonds, like Mikey said. Even Singletary, who I felt like got a bad rap here, was a great teammate. He did everything that you could ask for a third-round pick who had a terrible offensive line. I'm not saying he was the best running back in the world, but he was a good running back, and I just feel like he got way too much hate. And I want to see how his career goes on in the NFL when given the opportunity, one, and two, with a better offensive line. So that's a guy I'll be watching just to see how he does. Other than that, Anybody else really left the team that you'll be watching? We didn't have many people leave, really.
No, I think those are the two main ones that I'll be watching.
Right, that's it. Yeah. Okay.
I'll be interested to see what Isaiah does.
Oh, you're right. Hodgins. Yes. Yeah.
No.
McKenzie. Okay. Well, even Hodgins will be interesting the second season with the Giants. But you're right, McKenzie. That'll be an interesting one to watch.
Where did he come in? I haven't seen that.
What happened? What am I missing?
It says Red, White, and Bills said that they got Hurts and Burrow over Allen in the top 100. Listen, that top 100, they have Kirk Cousins in the top 50.
That must have came out tonight. I didn't hear that either. If that's the case, that's wild.
Yeah.
And
Sal says is trying to fit a square peg into a circle her with Kyer. That was one of the things that I said on the Shout podcast that they talked about was how odd of a scheme fit he was, and they didn't understand. He's top 10. It is what it is. I don't pay too much attention to that.
Well, it's players voting. So I respect that. I'll tell you what, I respect that vote. Like, I don't like the
based
number.
off of last year, by the way.
Yeah,
also.
Exactly. The players are but I will say this: out of all these top 10, top whatever, I will respect what players say over journalists or these guys, guys that really just are picking guys they love. So do I agree with it? No, I think he's definitely a top 3 quarterback. I think he's better than Hurts, in my opinion. I think he does. And Hurts is good. Don't get me wrong, but I think Allen's
done it 1 year.
Exactly. And I think Allen's proved more than one season that he
but
could
they're
be.
basing it off of last year. So if he was in the Super Bowl, they want to add him,
I think even Diggs dropped a little bit, right, this year.
No, Diggs moved up. He's 16.
Or did Diggs move up? Okay. Somebody dropped. I think Vaughn wasn't in the top 100 this year.
Yeah, because
Vaughn didn't. I don't think Vaughn made it. Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying he did a good season for half the season or most of half. But either way, I know who dropped. Poyer dropped, right? Poyer dropped. I think Poyer dropped in the top 100 this year. He made it, but he dropped.
Yeah, Micah didn't make it this year because he got hurt.
Micah didn't make it either because he got hurt. Yep.
So there's a lot of that. So it's based off last year. They can put it however they want. I don't really give a crap. It is.
Listen, at the end of the day, it means nothing, but it's still cool. Like we all watch, we want to know what they get. So whatever. At least the players respect Allen, put him in the top 10. So that's cool.
Yeah.
I remember when Allen first got in the top 100. It was in, what was it, 2020?
Yeah.
People are freaking out. He was like
out.
90. He was like 89.
Yeah.
Like
No way.
Yeah, people were like, no,
Well, like,
should it
listen,
be?
he's 8 this year. He was what, 11 last year? He didn't even make the top 10 last year.
Who?
Allen.
No, he did. It was Diggs was 11. I think you're wrong, actually. Diggs dropped. I think Diggs was 11. Can anyone pull that up in the chat? I'm almost sure that Diggs was 11. It was back to back. I think Diggs was 11, and I think Allen was 10. I'm almost sure. Look that up, guys. 2022 top 100. I'm almost 100%, guys. It was back to back Buffalo Bills because I remember Diggs made it, and then they finally did their last edition of the top 10.
2022, Josh Allen was voted 13, top 100.
Was he really? You sure about that? I guess. And what was Diggs? 14? Or am I thinking 2021 is when they did the back to back 11 and 10?
Yeah, it was 2021.
Oh, okay.
Diggs. Number 16 this year. What was he last year? I think he was in his 20s last year.
Yeah, look last
26 last year.
26. So I'm thinking 2021 then maybe when they were 11 and 10, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, he moved up. He moved up. So that's good. What it is. So, anyways, of those three, it seems to be a neck race. The preseason's going to play a role. Although I truly believe it's going to be a rotation this year. Between the three, I think all three are going to get playing time this year.
I do too.
You know, but listen, the way you got to look at it is we have three guys who could start at corner.
Yeah,
we have four starting corners. That's a good thing.
No doubt, and they're all pretty decent. Dane Jackson, last year got a little heat. He didn't play the best, but he's not a bad corner. He's not, man. I think he's earned his right on this team to be on this team. But what I prefer, I would definitely prefer either Elam or Benford over Jackson. And it's not a knock on Jackson. It's just you got to get these guys reps. You got to get them in there. They're going to have some bad moments in games, right? But they got to play through it. They got to learn. And if you don't play them, I feel like they're never going to kind of learn. You know what I mean? They're going into their second season. Can't keep, having Kyer on the bench or
so
go ahead.
So the top 8 was Allen, 8, Hill, Burrow, Kelsey, Bosa, Jalen Hurts was 3.
Wow.
Jefferson, Mahomes. Justin Jefferson was number
2.
Justin
Jefferson number 2.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well,
like they had Hurts over Burrow too.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised with that. See, I wouldn't have that.
He went from not rated to number 3 overall.
I know it's crazy. I'd definitely have Allen over Hurts. I'd definitely have Burrow over Hurts as well. Like just in my opinion.
And based off of last year, if they're going based off of last year's performance, I would have Burrow over Allen.
See, one can argue that, and I wouldn't hate. I can't.
I'm just saying,
get the debate.
I would personally take Josh Allen, but
no, I get it. But last year, you're saying,
based off of last year, I could see why they would want Burrow over Allen.
I just think I get that too. I'm just saying I see it from the dynamic, what Josh brings over like those two quarterbacks, like
Josh Allen,
Burrow. I think Josh Allen is like the whole. He's basically the offense, right? Like
84% of our offense.
Yeah, and I just don't like Burrow doesn't give you that run ability, that dynamic side that Josh does, right? So that's why I think he has a little edge over Burrow. But Burrow had a great season, no doubt. And Burrow's a very good quarterback. I just don't know if it's fair to put what's his name Hurts top, over both of them
top
so
3?
quickly.
No.
Yeah, that's wild.
But they also had Trevor Lawrence at like 93, and then you had like he's the 14th best quarterback in this league. Trevor Lawrence is probably a top 8 quarterback in this league.
He's getting there. I'm proud of that dude because he didn't. He had a. That's another quarterback. I mean, if you guys really go back, you want to talk about a messed up franchise to start, like really putting your quarterback in harm's way, whatever, with a terrible coach right? That team was was not good. Like everything was wrong about that team, and for him to bounce back, because he didn't have a great year his rookie year, and I don't blame him. Look what was around him, and then they get a new coach, and look what the difference is. Bring in a coach that knows what he's doing, and look at the turnaround, just like that,
Sal.
bro.
Yep, and Sal, that's why a lot of people put Allen as over Burrow and Hurts, is because Burrow and Hurts are surrounded by elite receivers. Receivers.
Yeah.
No, versus
definitely.
Allen. Allen has Diggs. And hopefully this year Gabe steps up and becomes that other one that they need. So, all right, Tommy, that kind of covers our position battles.
That is it. So I'll give you the rest of the week of the updates for us. So tomorrow, for all you wrestling nerds, at 8:30 will be Nuclear Heatwave Wrestling Podcast. So show them boys some love if you like wrestling. They're doing a great job, man. And their numbers are showing too, by the way, Mikey. They're getting more and more views, nice. So I'm happy for those dudes. And that's tomorrow, 8:30. And then me and Mikey will be back Friday doing the preview of Saturday's preseason game against the Colts, which starts at 1. But we'll be on Friday Night Lights at 8:30. And then Saturday, I may do a post-game live show after the first preseason game. So I'll let you guys know. But right now, I would say, right now I'm probably 75%. I'm probably going to do it. So
if you do it, hit me up. If I'm available, I'll hop on with you.
Awesome. Look at that, guys. So other than that, man, that's it for the week. And look out for my training camp video that will be out tomorrow and then the rest of the week. And then that's it, man. And we're ready to roll.
All right.
So, guys, everybody in the chat, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you guys. Bills Mafia, I love you. And as always, go Bills. We're out of here.
Go Bills.
Peace. And I'm going to play the out.
And look at it go. He could go all the way. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown.
The Bills make me wanna shout. Kick your heels up and shout. Throw your hands up and shout. Throw your head.